SF lane seems a little weird, right?
Yeah, it's not the partner that you want to have with Shadowfin, because usually he doesn't have a problem with the sustain. So most likely,
And also
towards the Shadowfin being mid.
Yeah, and also SF doesn't like to push out the wave in the safe lane, right? Because Warlock, you're gonna use Fatal Bond. So I think the lane probably is not that great. So
Right.
like probably it's gonna go mid, like what Lacoste mentioned here.
And the reason I bring up the Warlock is because Clockwork would also be 5 position, but they go for Nyx.
Wow, this is... I mean, Warlock and Nyx is a very, very good combination because Warlock is a team fight hero, and Nyx kind of does the other thing, right? Because whenever you're playing into Warlock, you're trying to dodge, you're trying to avoid the rock, and Nyx hunts you down.
Nyx pretty much makes up for everything the Warlock lacks, and Warlock does the same thing for Nyx.
It's a very rare hero that we get to see. It's only been twice at this tournament that we've gotten to see it. One win, one loss for itself.
It's a big counter to Elder Titan.
Yes.
So it really makes it very, very difficult for Elder Titan to set up his storms. And obviously also really good against the Invoker here. But the downside of Nyx is he is very, very weak in the lane after they remove the one-shotting creeps, you know.
Yes, there is no recovery mechanism for Nyx Assassin now. You need to have a good lane.
All right.
Wow. Enigma and Void Spirit here.
Well, we're going to get some epic team fights in this match, I can tell you that much.
I also want to see which one of these two heroes is going to be played as a position 4, either Void Spirit or Invoker. I mean, we did see yesterday position 5 Enigma from KJ. It did look insanely good because he was stacking 3 camps at the same time, making sure that enemies are not getting the stacks and still being able to scale into the mid and late game with the itemization that he was going for.
You know, in the green room a while ago, somebody said 9 class is going to play Void Spirit today. So maybe that's what we're going to see here.
Well, who said that? You can't just say somebody said that.
Somebody, I'm not going to reveal who.
No, that's fair. You gotta keep your
secret.
sources.
Okay,
so you think it's more likely to be a Void Spirit that's going to support than an Invoker?
Because they've been really theory crafting about what melee heroes could replace the slug.
Okay, I understand.
It's one of the most difficult heroes to beat catch. Like it's almost impossible to catch Void Spirit. Kind of fits what 9 class wants to do. Be very annoying. You have 2 astral step charges. You have the simulate as well, so very difficult to catch. Be annoying. If you get the shard, you can farm the camp. You just put down 1 remnant and you're going to be getting the farm. But to your point, Jenkins, about this Dawnbreaker, I assume they pick Nyx Assassin to block the Dawnbreaker and then take it for themselves.
I think so. You cannot pick Dawn into Nyx. It's like Nyx Silencer, but Warlock and Elder Titan had already been picked, and Silencer is played as a 5. So they picked the only 4 position that counters Dawnbreaker that PV is willing to play, that 9 class is willing to play, which is Nyx Assassin, and then they get the Dawnbreaker uncountered. And we saw yesterday in the Heroic Series how strong Dawnbreaker can look, especially into Enigma as a counter to the Black Hole. There's straight up nothing you can do. It's an AoE disable, global, BKB piercing.
I mean, you're not winning that team fight against the Rock, the SF Requiem, and the Dawn coming down, you know. It's so difficult. And at the same time, why their draft is so solid right now, if you don't take the team fight, there's a Nyx hunting you with the Solar Guardian.
With the Dawn coming in, yeah, exactly.
It is so hard.
Cheap setup that they can get the kills pretty much anywhere on the map, but also looking at the Pvision's draft, you do have a lot of team fight as well. Invoker with the Cataclysm, ET, Ulti, and
it takes time though.
But it does take time. I think this lineup is a bit on the slower side. If it's going to be Invoker from the mid lane, which I think it's going to be, with the Helm of the Dom and this Void Spirit position 4, it's still going to give you a good time. You're going to hit Enigma, you're building into Helm, you're building into drums, these type of items, you're building into potentially a pipe. You just want to be tanking up, and then you're going to hit the crucial timing with all these summons, all these zoos, and you're going to be ready to take the fight, but it needs a little bit more time.
Yeah, I agree. I do think an Invoker mid lane looks better here. All of the things that we talked about against the SF, Cold Snap, the small instances of damage, like, all very good against Dawnbreaker as well. She ults in, Invoker drops a Meteor plus Cold Snap, like, she can definitely feed. Whereas a Void Spirit, you're kind of initiating, and Dawnbreaker ult can counter that initiation, so you probably want to put that on less of an important role. I also feel like for 9 class, Void Spirit makes a lot of sense. He's really hard to kill. You just need to get level 6. That's the only concern here, is that he can't really run around pre-level 6 and be invulnerable like he could on Monkey King by jumping on the trees.
I mean, the issue with the Void Spirit is like he seems like a very different replacement for the Slug and Monkey, right? Because the way you set up for the ganks, I think it's a lot harder as a Void Spirit. Like you see someone, you have to jump in and then land your Aether Remnant, and the disable is not as reliable, I would say, as a Slug or Monkey King. So I think the execution level of this hero, if it's indeed a position 4, is going to be way, way higher.
Something else that 9 Class is doing on these heroes is the vision game, right? That's something that at least Void Spirit is pretty good to do. And a Phantom Lancer.
Oh, Ame, what are you doing?
He just knows how to deliver on the main stage. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much in the way of clearing the PL illusion.
And also, it's a very good lane matchup into the Enigma, which I suspect is the biggest reason they wanted the Phantom Lancer here. And it's also really good against the Invoker. You dodge the spells, you can land the combo.
Pvision will need some AoE, something that can build into Battle Fury. I'm thinking about, you know, these jugs maybe. They played a lot of Kunkka in the safe lane a couple of months back. He builds into Radiance, not the best thing against Nyx Assassin, but you have Cleave, you have Radiance against PL Illusions. Could be something that they are going to be willing to pick up.
Yeah, if you're thinking about jugs, I think you should focus on the draft, but maybe Juggernaut or Lifestealer? Like you've Radiance against the PL.
And you have the Rage against the Nyx. Yeah, there you go.
It felt really good against the other heroes of Extreme Gaming, and I think against PL, it's an okay matchup. It's decent. You know, you can slowly clear through all the illusions, like kite the fight for long enough to kill the PL.
But the thing you have to worry about is the BKB piercing disable from the Dawn and the Warlock, which is going to be very, very annoying for the Lifestealer in the team fights.
Yeah, 100%. And I do think there comes a point in Dota where Lifestealer does not answer PL. Once he has enough items, once he has a pipe to back him up, so the Radiance is clearing through the illusions and revealing who the real PL is, I do think that late game, PL destroys Lifestealer.
But are they going to be able to get there, right? We've seen Phantom Lancer only one time so far. It did not have any success, and it felt like because you were able to close the game out a lot earlier than those items required for PL, he needs a lot of time.
I mean, I don't think they need to get there though. I think in the early stages, their team fight with the SF, Warlock, and Dawn is just going to be enough to carry them through the game. They're going to get the objectives easily, get Roshan on their hand, and the game does not have to get to late game for the PL to beat the Lifestealer.
I will say, when played from ahead, I do really like Lifestealer against PL. And let me just read some of Satanic's records real quick. These are records across all TIs. He's #1 for least deaths, #1 for GPM, #1 for XP per minute, #1 for last hits per minute. This guy is good. If somebody's going to be ahead, it's him.
It's definitely him. I think this game is going to be very, very slow. I think we're going to be seeing only a couple of kills in the first 10 minutes, and that's going to benefit both of the teams. I also feel that Shinkyu will need to do a lot of work because he is pretty much the only stun. He's going to be setting things up. Sure, you have Warlock ulti, you have Dawnbreaker ulti, but he needs to be the one
Everything's
in the front line. Pretty much everything is a follow-up.
All right. I like where you guys are putting this. It feels like there's going to be so much on the line about these lanes, exactly how this game is going to go out. But I want to get some words of confidence from one of our team's coaches, and that's Estinian Slacks.
Absolutely, words of confidence coming from this man many times before in this tournament. Just as the first one. You feeling confident now?
Yes, it's impossible not to feel with this energy from the crowd, South Americans, Brazilians, CIS, everyone cheering for us. Thanks, guys.
Impossible to fail. You know, that's not what everybody says. I've been reading a few threads. Says, you know, ban the Slark, ban the Monkey, or playing against Pvision, easy win. Do you agree with that?
This TI team is stars aligned. I thought Nigma would win, and then they lose. And then I have no option of hero. They ban full hero pool. Then I look, everything purple, and it's Void Spirit. They couldn't count with it.
That's a coach right there, all right? Look around, see something in the room and go, that seems like a good hero. Hell yeah, all right, I like that.
You came dressed for it.
Yes, thank you. I am actually Void Spirit. I'm glad I can motivate you, my friend. All right, let's get serious here for a second, though. We do have some pretty interesting picks here. Phantom Lancer, what the hell is this? I would never ask that to the director. Do you have any idea what they're planning with that hero, and are you ready for it?
We tried 2 times ourselves. We always lost. Maybe they make it work. I'd be happy to see it work on the sense PL can work, then I play next game, but I think it will not.
Okay, does not think it's going to work. All right. Now, I know I'm not supposed to ask a father about his children, who's his favorite child, but out of the team here, come on, you got to make one choice. Who's going to be your MVP on this game to get you a first win?
9 class.
9 class! All right, we'll see it. Will he be the 9 class that we've seen so many times before, or that position 7 Centaur? We'll find out very shortly. Thank you so much, my friend. It was a pleasure to see you, and we'll get it to game number 1.
Thank you very much there, Slacks and
Thank you,
Studio. Indeed.
Slacks.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Barclays Arena. Let's get into the action here. The lower bracket final. It, of course, is Extreme Gaming up against Pvision and Fog. We're getting some exciting heroes coming through on the final day of the International. 9 class bringing out this Void Spirit. And obviously on the side of Extreme Gaming, we're getting an Arme PL. I think we saw the stat. It's only been picked once in this tournament. Did not win.
Nope.
Arme, he's ready to try and show us how it's done.
I mean, we're in for a treat here, right? We have masterminds, of course, from both coaches, but so many iconic heroes coming in. Even though, like you said, we don't see the PL too much, a lot of these players do love to play it. It just unfortunately doesn't work in a lot of situations nowadays. But we're in for a treat for sure. Look at all the team fight we've got, Owen. Some of these games, they've gone, I mean, most of these games have gone quite long. And if this one does go long, holy moly, look at the wombo combos that can come in, right? We've got Exort Invoker, so we have the potential for the Cataclysms later on with Black Hole. And then, of course, from the side of XG, Fatal Bonds with the Dawnbreaker, with the SF. Let's see who can execute better.
And talking about some of these other heroes that we haven't really been seeing too much, you know, Jinkyu has had some insane games yesterday. He was popping off time and time again. Definitely giving them the confidence to bring in something that we just haven't been seeing that much as well, the Nyx Assassin. I mean, why haven't we been seeing this hero? And what do you think's made it this game for the one that Jinkyu said, hey, give me the Nyx Assassin?
I think Panel touched on it pretty well there, right? They were trying to cover and make sure that this Dawnbreaker can have a good time, but also with what he had seen already, he saw the ET and the Invoker. So a pretty good matchup in terms of mid-game and late game for that Nyx Assassin to disrupt combos. Top lane.
So we're going to be able to trade back pretty nicely here with the punches of Dakalis.
And you were asking also, sorry, why we don't see it as much. The weak lane, right? That's just what's always been the case. After they removed the Mind Flare, one-shotting those creeps to have that recovery outlet, it did make it a lot more difficult to play the Nyx Assassin in some situations.
And the PL, so why are other carries not touching this hero? It feels like they're not even considering it. I mean, we heard from Astini, right? He himself didn't have a lot of faith in this hero. So he's, of course, going to be watching with, it feels like, the rest of the world to just see what PL can do as a carry in this day and age.
On paper, we've seen, especially in pubs, it's been running rampant. It's winning a ton of games just because once the game gets to these later stages, it can be very difficult just to deal with these illusions. You tend to just run out of steam with your draft, which could potentially happen if this PL gets too far ahead or if the game gets too late and the Lifestealer isn't ahead in particular, right? It could be pretty problematic. There's ways to stop the Black Hole. There's ways to prevent the Invoker from getting spells off as XXS.
They're going to have the Sunstrike. It's going to connect onto Jinkyu. Got the Spike Carapace up with the Blood Grenade. That'll do it to Carlos. Laying down the Blood Grenades here to get that first blood secured.
A very, very strong lane that Pvision has set themselves up top. Pretty much completely countering the Dawn and the Nyx in terms of laning phase.
Yeah, it certainly feels like it. I mean, we're seeing, right, you know, XXS and Jinkyu, they can step up, drop their spells, but if the burst of those combos doesn't get the kill, the right clicks and the chase down from Dakalis and Satanic, it feels like it's going to win out pretty much all the time.
It really should, honestly. The problem with Nyx Assassin, like we were saying, with the laning phase, he hates laning versus strength melee heroes.
Yes.
It just is the case.
He's got to be a bit cautious here. Getting caught, stepped up, the Sunstrike off the mark,
Close.
but he will still be chased out here.
Hey, look at Jinkyu. He's hugging XXS with the Carapace to try to reflect that Sunstrike back. Off the mark there slightly, though. No one. As we get the chance to look at these other lanes, XM versus no one, having a very good time so far. And same thing for bottom. We're seeing that PL, Ame, feeling no threat versus the Void Spirit and the Enigma so far here. As I don't think he will. That's probably why they also wanted this PL. They see the lane, it's a Void Spirit Enigma, and they have a Warlock, which is going to keep him completely sustained in the lane. So Ame is set up for success to get that farm.
Overall, if he does get this good start, hits these timings as the PL, you know, how well kitted out is Pvision's lineup to deal with a farmed Phantom Lancer in the later stages of the game?
Later, in very late game, it can be very problematic. The one really good thing that they have is the ET and the Invoker combos, right? ET, we saw yesterday what Natural Order can do in later stages, especially when you're versus a hard agility carry, since it puts you to 0 for that armor if you don't have any plus armor. So can make a difference for a Lifestealer to focus fire, and also the spells are going to clear those illusions maybe a bit easier than some other games.
As we're sitting in the mid, no one doing well to be able to match the last hits really of XM, but overall the pressure from XM, continuously keeping the wave shoved in. It's getting to the point now where he's starting to get a few hits onto that tower. So rotation coming in from 9 class.
This top lane, XXS is getting 0 CS. He's at 9-1. He was at 8-1 2 minutes ago, and immediately they're just constantly pushing him off the lane. So the problem of that dual lane, dual melee,
it's going to be a rough start for him. It's almost to the point where it's going to require some sort of big play to happen as soon as he hits the 6, so he can get involved somewhere else and pick up some action.
No, absolutely.
From this lane, unlikely to be finding anything too much with how Ducalis and Satanic are playing it against him.
And we do have to mention, right? Jinq and XXS kind of have been pretty strong dictators of mid game.
They've crushed a lot of lanes.
They've been amazing in a lot of these games to get XG to a good purpose.
Yeah,
and if XXS has no game,
Sunstrike coming in. He's right-clicked with Ducalis.
Super close to dying there. Ducalis having boots and windlace already this early is proving to be very problem. This is a level 3 Dawnbreaker, Owen.
This has got to be one of the roughest starts we've seen XXS have here on the main stage, right?
I think it's the roughest start in the entire tournament that I've seen from him so far. So that lane in particular looking fantastic for Pvision.
Oh yeah, Satanic is having an absolute dream of a time. Still in the mid. Jinq able to make himself useful as he turns up, helps out XM take out a kill on Ducalis.
So far, 9 class, literally just been stacking neutrals. He's just running around. He was trying to manipulate creep waves, but now it's just been the stack game. DM, the nice thing about this Enigma pick versus the PL and the Warlock is it's a very passive lane from PL Warlock, so DM isn't getting sacked down here, even though this, the Void Spirit isn't really doing too much just yet. As we see no one, put the point in the Wex, he'll meteor the camp, and they'll give the Void Spirit the mid lane to make sure the 9 class can get something at the least here. But he won't get any CS.
And talking about 9 class, obviously this was expected that he was going to be trying something different after his sort of 2 main roaming melee supports that he has been winning game after game on get banned out. This case, of course, being the Monkey King and the Slark. Do you sort of see the concept behind the support Void Spirit?
Not as much as some of the other options that we have seen. I think there's some interesting potential with the Call of the Void that is untested, but we'll have to see.
Battle for the Wisdom. We're going to have Satanic and Ducalis pushing on. TP's coming in. XXS, he's going to get taken out. XM will turn up to make sure that Pvision paid for this one, but not before they take out a second kill, Pvision.
Satanic?
They're going to have to try and deal with Satanic, but he's still not that easy to take out, as he's going to be able to step across. He's got Infest at the ready, so he'll be able to hop into the creep. XM at least will secure the Shrine of Wisdom for them, but the Sunstrike coming in. Satanic essentially getting the cleanup on what pretty much was, 4 heroes that he's getting the XP from. They may have got the XP from the Wisdom on XG, but overall, Satanic absolutely coming out on top of this.
That's a lot of extra health already for this Lifestealer.
And the game for XXS just continues to crumble.
That is an unbelievable start for this Lifestealer, and it's a hero, as we said, versus PL. You want to be ahead. He's going to have really good timing on this Radiance.
Oh, yeah.
Getting kills like that. The Lotus, as we saw coming into play massively, heals up his mana HP, has that creep, and wow.
That's huge. The tips coming out between the two of them, Satanic and Ducalis, because they know that they have absolutely crushed the start of this game in that top lane.
Absolutely, and DM, he's actually getting pressure on this bottom
This is a lot, 8 minutes in.
This is a phenomenal start for the side of Pvision, even though, as we said, Ame is having a free farm start. That death on XM hurts a ton. A tower drops. This is a crazy early game here so far from Pvision. Yeah, as you said, XXS, how's he going to recover? Level 4 Dawnbreaker, almost 9 minutes in. Rarely see this from these offlaners to get sacked this hard, to get punished this hard.
And if Pvision are able to sort of keep this pressure up and continue to grow this early game lead and start sort of taking these objectives off XG's side of the map, when you have a PL as the carry, how early can Ame turn up, or how difficult will it be for him to get involved if sort of the time starts ticking and he has to?
He might just have to. I see he's going the defusal route, but we'll have to see, because it is Ame. Ame really does like to hit those creeps until he feels like he has that ideal timing, but yeah, we'll have to see, because this early game is devastating. Pvision able to maximize the farm, as we see no one. Dominator's finished. He's jungling. They're giving the Void Spirit the mid lane. They have pressure in the bottom lane for the Dominator, so they have the double Dominators already going.
Yeah.
So the farm is going to increase massively, and for the side of XG, making a rotation to Satanic, that's not possible. How are you going to kill this Lifestealer? At this point in the game,
this
it's
sort
not
of
going
start.
to happen.
Satanic is going to be a huge issue. The Radiance timing is going to be fantastic on Satanic.
Yeah.
And,
solo kill.
I'm going to just head over and take that down. Both Ame and XM not able to do anything to save their support in that situation.
All right, this is a massive problem for the side of XG right now. DM is already starting to take over and swing toward
He's just
mid.
ready to walk over. Gets the Eidolons out, no one's got the setup. Xingqiu, they'll try and run. The cold snap is going to stop his escape. Another kill for Pvision as they just continue to dominate this early game.
And look at the push, right? With the double dominators, with the Forge Spirits, they can really start to knock down this tower. And for XG, maybe not the best wave clear. They kind of have to take a fight if they want to try to defend this tower. Dawnbreaker has hit 6.
Okay.
So let's see the Solar Guardian.
See what happens here in the mid. With the setup, Solar Guardian's coming in. XM will survive for now.
Only just.
So they are able to keep the SF alive. Sunstrike's attempted, won't connect. But yeah, it does mean that they're not going to be able to try and look for an aggressive move around the Solar Guardian to try and give XXS that chance to catch back up in this game.
It's almost like they poked, forced it, and then just were like, okay, we got the Dawn ult, back up, everybody farm again. 3K lead, first 11 minutes here. And I believe that is the Relic, essentially done for Satanic.
Got to be one of the faster Radiances, right, at this pace.
100%. I mean, and look at his health, right? I always try to factor this one in because of how much you get from the Feast. That's a lot at the 11-minute mark. He already has 1,400 HP on a Lifestealer with Phase and a Bracer.
And just the nature of the matchup as well, right? You can't be feeling good as the PL having to play a game into what's going to be such an early Radiance Lifestealer.
No, definitely not. Then, like you said, maybe there's no way that Ame wants to turn up until he has 1, 2, maybe even the third item in particular. And this is an unreal start. Level 9 as well, too, for Satanic. Have to point that one out. So being completely left alone, all 3 cores super high level.
Yeah, the last pick Lifestealer coming in very hard here from Pvision.
And they didn't punish, this lane bottom in particular, the Void Spirit plus the Enigma. There was nothing that happened to DM. So 9 class, he's 6. DM is 9. And as you said, the towers really getting pressured here.
No, they really are. And of course, on the other side of things, you look at Pvision's towers. The middle's taken a little bit of damage, but the side lanes, they've barely been touched at all.
Yeah.
So the pressure really adding up here against XG in the early game.
And just not easy for XM and for XG in particular to set up a team fight, right? Because there is a lot of annoying abilities on the side of Pvision that are just fantastic at countering these fights. The ET, one of the best counter initiators, and the Invoker, if he's not caught in the initial go, he's gonna get his spell combo
Little
off.
timings as well, 9 class able to back up, pick up a lot of bounties.
Big money. 4K lead continues to grow. No one purchasing up the drums as well too. Very early timings here.
Maybe if they can get sort of the supports, 6s online for where Xingqiu's got his available now, and Xnova, of course, has the option with the Grimoire. They can definitely try and piece together a team fight to sort of slow down what Pvision is accomplishing in this early stage.
If they get given the opportunity, right? Pvision is a team that really likes to play around controlling tempo, playing around these dominators until they have that ideal timing for a fight. So punishing these dominators, it feels very difficult. Look at the lanes.
And look at the timing. So yeah, Phase Boots, Radiance, 13 minutes on Satanic this game.
Has to be the fastest, right?
XXS, nothing that he can do right now about this Lifestealer, and there we have it. Indeed, nearly 2 minutes faster than the fastest that we've seen so far.
Absolutely crazy.
Can Ame, with his PL, have the answer down the line to this incredibly stacked Lifestealer at such an early time?
They're gonna have to play for that later stage for sure, it feels like. Unless Xingqiu can start to make some magic with the Vendetta, with the Solar Guardian to find pickoffs, but they have to be careful because their damage is gonna be limited when they've fallen behind this early game. If they go for a play, can definitely get countered as Pvision.
They know how strong they are. They're ready to stand here.
Scan comes out.
And bully XG potentially away from this Wisdom. See, at the same time, though, Xingqiu's going to make his way over and try and take theirs. And he should get away with this unless there's quick TPs, but it doesn't look like it, so Xingqiu at least able to balance the situation there.
Nice and sneaky.
Another tower taken. The top one falls. And
All
Sam
3
has to take out his middle as well as it falls in deny range.
Right, all 3 tier 1s dropping, and lane pressure is definitely going to be an issue. As you see, Parrot, Pvision can literally just kind of invisibly shove lanes with 2 heroes with the 4 Spirits plus Dominator, and Lifestealer, as you said, feels pretty free to show on lanes. They can catch him with a very, very high execution combo if he has his Radiance on in the laning phase, a Carapace comes in and stuns, but it's very difficult with their limited damage. With this start, a 5K lead, and it's very early to have this.
Obviously, item timings that XG is going to be looking towards. Aghanims, obviously, on the Dawnbreaker, still a while away for XXS. And yeah, for the other two cores as well, yeah, both Arme and XM. Definitely no interest in turning up to a fight right now. So doing the best they can to scramble together that next bit of progression.
Yeah, the question is really going to be is if they can land their wombo combo in a good way versus Pvision, and if that damage is going to be enough. Because it is significant with the Fatal Bonds, with the Requiem. Says Pvision is getting a lot out of the map, and these auras are going to soon start to be built up for TM.
Definitely a bit of a saving grace for them that they do have, such a bountiful option of ways to stop the black hole, right? It's never going to be easy for DM to just get in, black hole, Alame's PL, give Satanic the chance to kill him off. They will always have the opportunity to stop that.
Yeah, I don't think he'll build too much for the black hole this game, right? He'll build the aura so that he can just tank up his team, I'd imagine, since there is two BKB piercing disables in particular that can just completely counter him in terms of black hole. XM, Yashikaya is finished. As we said, though, difficult for him to get the combo off because of the ET plus the Invoker little mini stuns can cause some difficulties. But with this amp damage...
Yeah, we might see something happen here. They're looking towards the top tower.
Let's see if they want to try to at least get that tower, like you said, because so far,
I guess the question
not
is,
able to hit towers.
If you're Pvision, do you feel strong enough that you're turning up for these tier 1 defenses?
I think they absolutely can, right? With the ET, they have insane counter initiation.
Yes, they're smoking and coming through the twin gate. So if XG do want to try and push for this, it will absolutely go answered by Pvision.
DM has the pipe finished. So a lot of that damage, in particular XM, who is the majority of the early game, might just get answered.
I think if you're XG, you do not want to walk into this right now. Pvision very, very ready for any sort of fight.
They want to take the fight themselves. They see X-Nova.
They're going to make the quick jump. They get the grab here. 9 class able to set up. That's X-Nova gone.
More HP for Satanic. That's that pipe being delivered. They can start to threaten Roche with all those summons. It does feel like they can start to poke that with the Forge Spirit, with the double Dominators. The ward is prepared, though, so XG wasn't the ready that this move can potentially happen.
Maybe if they had the Warlock up. We'll be back up, of course, in 5 seconds, but is that going to be soon enough for them to feel that they can try for some sort of risky play around the pit?
Does Xingqiu try for a potential steal play with a Golem and then just running in?
I think it might be tempting.
Let's see what they want to do here.
Let's have a look. Can they get the timing here, XG? Xingqiu. He's going to try and get in, but indeed the dust is there. Put the spike carapace, but they've got the control with the tornado and the ice wall. Pvision, they'll get the kill, they'll get the Roshan, and they'll get the Aegis. They get everything.
They are just so ready for every single one of the moves. Decent attempt there from XG, but going to be answered immediately. Manta finished up for Ame, so he hasn't died yet. He is getting that farm. It's just the differential between him and Satanic. Satanic is going to have that matchup versus him.
It's going to be exciting to see. Will it get to the point where Ame does turn up and he's just sort of able to take the game on his shoulders as a PL, as the PL of age back in the day? This hero used to be able to do that, folks.
For sure. We'll just have to see, because the fact, have to factor in the Invoker spells, which have traditionally been pretty good, and just the ET aura, how much that's going to be able to do also, versus the PL of buffing up the Radiance and the overall physical damage if he can actually get on top of them.
It's not going to be easy. That's true. You would even consider that if this PL was kind of back at prime PL stages in the past, this would not be an easy draft still to defeat.
No. Definitely not.
So Ame, he's definitely got his work cut out here.
Lightstealer, it's a pretty good matchup versus PL in terms of mid and early game, even toward later stages if you are ahead. And he is keeping himself in a good margin ahead, and he has a lot of team fights surrounding him.
Just under 4 minutes here to play with the Aegis. Almost certainly expect the Pvision will be eyeing up these tier 2 towers.
Looking to continue constricting the map. They've gotten all the pressure on these buildings. XG. Next item is finished, so XM Blink is done. But as you said, it's not easy for him to get the combos off versus all the disables.
Stepping up, gets caught underneath the vision. They get the setup here with the Remnants. XXS will try and drag himself out with the hammer.
He's gone.
But he is gone indeed. Another kill for Pvision. As they just have to be so careful how close they get. Pvision will immediately make the jump in numerous ways. Keep the pressure on. Fortification comes out momentarily, but Pvision, they're not going anywhere. They'll stick around, take out this tier 2 20 minutes in.
And no one, he's got the Aghanims already done. And as we said, he did go the Exort Facet this time around, so the Cataclysm potential is there.
Now ready
Absurd
to
amount
TP over the
of
mid
damage.
9 class.
XM.
It's ready to start playing around with the Remnant. Will miss, and XM does get the chance to grab that haste rune. He's trying to fight back against 9 class, but doesn't want to head up to the high ground.
Off the mark with it. If he clips, if he gets him with that there, he's dead. Very likely XM. Perhaps getting a little lucky the 9 class does not connect with that
They're
Remnant.
going to try and do something and get Arme involved.
See what they can get. It's been a very quiet game.
Yeah, this seems like a risky play, but again, I really feel in the position that XG have, they have to try something like this to catch Pvision by surprise. They'll find Ducalis. TPs are coming in. Ducalis, he's going to get buffed up by the pipe. He's fine, and now they're ready to turn. The Satanic is going to try and find the real Arme. They're going to grab him with the Rev, and they've caught the real one. Solar Guardian heal coming in for Satanic, able to stay on top of the PL. Arme is gone. The Black Hole will be cancelled. They have the stun follow as well, but XXS goes down. Satanic falls for once, but he's going to be ready for round 2. GQ desperately trying to TP out. He'll make it away. But Pvision, as expected with the situation of the game so far, they take these fights so easily. Extreme, they try and get Arme involved. Ducalis will end up dying to the Tormentor. Gets rewarded, though, for his efforts there with the Shard. But it's just so hard to enter into these team fights as the PL. They've got the wave clear, and they've got this just incredibly farmed Satanic Lifestealer staying on top of you the entire fight.
As soon as the Solar Guardian comes out too, Enigma can cast that Black Hole. As we see, he's got positioning for it. Even if it's just a second or two, it's enough. As they try, I mean, the starting on Ducalis isn't bad there, that positioning, but he's got the whole backup of the team. XM's Requiem does next to nothing, and yeah, a fantastic fight again. The Splitter as well, I believe, caught, what, 3 heroes coming through there.
I mean, these sort of fights, for XG to come out on top, they have to be perfect. They have to almost sort of find a pick-off before the fight starts. And we did see them attempt that there, but they just couldn't kill Ducalis.
Nope. And the Aegis coverage there, even though Satanic did die once, he's right back. And I think they took a gem as well there too, right? I think it was purchased. Oh, actually, they recovered it, sorry. X-Nova was able to recover his gem. But Satanic got, what, 2 more kills out of that fight also? So I'm just going to keep looking at that bonus HP. He has so much health to really go through here when they are behind.
Perfect game so far from him. 5-0-5 on the Lifestealer.
Full SNY finished up too. How do you bring this man down?
Another tower to be taken.
And XG, they were trying to really fight around that Tormentor timing just to prevent that extra gain from Pvision, but immediately stopped in their tracks again. Blink, Jin-Q, getting closer. When he has Blink, then they can actually look for plays on these side lanes a little easier as well too with XM. If they do see someone split up. The problem is that Pvision isn't really splitting too much now. Feeling their power of grouping up.
Trying to get the catch onto XXS there, top.
Off the mark.
And the space is there for them to continue taking these towers. As all tier 2s now taken 23 minutes in.
And only 1 tower that XG's been able to bring down. Yeah, this Pvision early game is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah,
they're even knocking on
fast.
the high ground already.
We've not been seeing this a lot in this tournament. 23 minutes in. This is very, very early.
There's no golem. Okay, it does come back up now. So they force people back, and then they go back and actually just farm, and potentially even look for a catch. See, 9 class and no one. Looking for a setup.
And they're going to catch onto the illusions, though. Oh, maybe not. A 9 class. He's got the read. Arme's going to try and turn. He's going to try and bait them out with the micro. It's going to work. Pvision, they won't try and search any longer, so Arme gets out.
Does TP back to base, though. This gets sent all the way back. I just keep looking at these lanes, and every time XG looks to get out on the map, look at the positioning. Top, Dominator plus Eidolons. Mid, Dominator plus Forge Spirits for a second. Bottom also shoved in, so difficult for Jin-Q to make a move, which isn't kind of telegraphed, right? Because they're going to see all these lanes shoved in, and they're like, yeah, okay, they're trying to perhaps make a move since nobody's shoving those lanes out.
Jin-Q trying to just get some information.
And Satanic is carrying the gem now. So he can keep toggling the Radiance, make sure he doesn't get caught by that Carapace, and he'll always just know when Jin-Q is trying to make a move on him. Covering their bases, not giving an opportunity on XG to get the kill on this Lifestealer.
Yeah, they're just going to get out of here, the 2 of them. They know that they can't try and set up for some sort of surprise play from the high ground. They head to the top side. And they do have the 3 of them up here, and it is no one TPing in on his own. Still a very tough target to take down.
He's been pretty sneaky.
That's the Aghanims online now for Arme. So a little bit more potential in the team fights.
He probably wants, I think once he has that next item, then he can start to feel quite powerful, but the separation between him and the Lifestealer actually just continues to grow. Went from 2K to 3K to 4, now it's at a 5K separation.
Yeah. I mean, I guess these sort of things happen, right? Especially when it's Satanic and he gets such a fast Radiance timing.
Very true. And his itemization, you know, we have to talk about it for Satanic. It's normal, but it's very, very good this game. He's going to have the AC finished up after the armor. So
yeah, 25 minutes in.
Super strong versus physical and magical.
Yeah, this is crazy stuff.
And all these wards are being taken out since he does have that gem picked up. AC, there it is. Breaking records.
Absolutely smashing the fastest timings. I'd imagine on pretty much most of these items with this sort of build-up. Just hasn't been slowed down one bit this game.
If anything, he's only been accelerated, it feels like, after that laning phase.
And there we go, Yendi. No surprises. It's not even close.
Nope.
Mate, looking towards the Bloodthorn next. Wants to make sure that if they do kind of get that jump in with Xingqiu, they are able to just focus the target and kill them off.
Ways away from it, though.
Radiant are scanning.
Pvision, they can definitely look to kind of calm things down, hold onto the map, set things up for the next Roshan.
It's a quick spawn, too. And definitely difficult for XG to contest that next Rosh as well. Is the BKB finished up yet for XM? I believe it is. So at the least he'll be able to potentially get that Requiem off unless he gets caught from either like a splitter interrupt or a black hole in particular.
And I think that they've got to go for it, right? If you're XG, you try and contest this next rush. You really want to sit back and have to try and defend high ground against an Aegis push from Pvision?
It feels like they do have to.
You got to get out there.
Especially after that situation we saw last time, right? Big team fight ultimates are good and all, but when there's an Aegis carrier, it does counteract that very heavily.
And they'll scout things out, Pvision, as they step up into the pit. Extreme, what do they want to do about this? Doesn't look like they're making any initial moves, so maybe the call is indeed just going to be hold the high ground.
They still just they have lane issues again. Look at the positioning of these lanes. Bottom is shoved in, mid shoved in, top also. They're going to smoke it for an attempt.
Let's see if they can get there in time.
It's dying pretty quick.
I mean, you see the positioning from Ducalis, DM, and No One. They're all ready to interrupt any sort of initiation from Extreme.
9 Class is throwing down those remnants. XM.
Watching from the side, Xingqiu, ready with the step in, but Satanic's already out with the rage. Meatball comes down straight away, Xingqiu's gone. The sleep at the side, they managed to catch XM.
He's in trouble.
There in the split, will get the BKB off, but the Black Hole comes in, gets produced up by the Solar Guardian. They turn with the raises, they kill off the air.
The Rosh.
Satanic's got it. Aegis picked up by the Lifestealer. Arme has to be careful here how close he gets to the Lifestealer. Satanic's ready to step across. Chase down XXS as XG. They pretty much threw everything into the effort at the start of the fight. He'll go for the TPL, will make it away. XXS. They try there to interrupt Extreme. They get a kill against the Enigma, but they don't manage to stop the Rosh and stop the Aegis going into the hands again of Satanic.
Attempt at the black hole, immediately cancelled. They'll be able to get that set up. XM survives though, which is at least a small silver lining, of course, for them, but Satanic, Aegis now coverage, next item soon on the horizon. It's difficult for them to actually get in and contest in any way. XXS getting a bit lucky to survive as see Midas picked up for the Warlock. As you said, they want to take it to super late stages.
They do. Extreme know that that's pretty much the only way out of this game. If they can somehow push this one later and later, they have been able to do it before. This time around in this situation definitely is going to be one of, if not the hardest, to try and stop Pvision from ending the game against them.
Yep.
But maybe if they can, we'll get to see the game get to a point where Arme can show us what the late game PL can do.
It would be so impressive to see, especially, you know, because of this ET, because of this Invoker as well too, that adds that extra complication for him. We will see if he can. As Satanic, he's been queuing up a couple different items. We'll see which way he does really look to go. The BKB looking to be that probably safest option so he doesn't get his mana burned completely and can't use the Rage of the Infest.
No, for sure, yeah. If he can sort of survive in these fights on the front lines through a Rage, a BKB, and a Rage, it's hard to not see most of the heroes just dying on XG.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the Lifestealer lives that long in a team fight.
9 Class also getting pretty dangerously close to an Aghanims, which is a pretty big deal this game since he's a support position. It can be very disruptive for these backline heroes.
Down bottom, No One.
XM.
Gonna find the setup. XM does have Xingqiu by his side. BKBs are out from both mids here, as they'll split for now.
They swap the gem over to the Invoker. Since there's no slot on Satanic, they're protecting no one now with that gem. So he can play he can play a bit safer and a bit more aggressive in terms of pushing out these side lanes, since he'll know when the Nyx is on him. There's that BKB, still with the Aegis for about 2.5 minutes.
9 class. It's gonna have the setup here with the Yules into the random. So this is gonna be a very dead X-Nova, trying to do his best to get towards that big item pickup, wants to work his way towards this refresher. It's going to take him a fair bit of time, though.
A very, very long time.
It does have, a lot of potential XP still, has the Grimoire, has his Midas ready to go, so...
Pvision might look to force a bit here again, since they still have 2 minutes on this Aegis. Lanes are in a good position for them to do so as well.
Yeah, they're in a perfect spot to just hit the high ground, see what happens.
Yeah, at least like force a reaction, in particular, from the side of XG. They're going to smoke in the back line. They have a banner at the ready. What do you do, XG? Glyph is forced.
See what they can do after this.
But the banner is down already, so that catapult is going to survive.
They're going to have everybody back up. The tier 3's gone. Satanic on towards the barracks. They'll try and lead in. They'll have the Yule set up into the Remnant on towards XM.
The Raxes are dying.
Can they do anything? The Rage comes out for Satanic as he stands his ground, cleans up the full set top. They couldn't do anything to stop them. They're going to try now, looking towards the Void Spirit. Pike gets popped, the Infest comes in as well. They're able to keep 9 class easily alive.
Too scared to commit for the fight. If they lose that fight, it's probably just the game, so just try to poke and prod, but the Rax, Pvision just comes in and claims it. Big amount of gold acquired. As you said, the Ags now for 9 class is about to be finished. DM, he's about to have a blink now too with that BKB after having the aura, so might find the angles for these black holes soon, even versus the double BKB piercing disables.
Now for sure. I mean, at the least, forces out these sort of saves to come out immediately at the start of the fight, kind of leaving the area then free for Satanic to clean up in the longer drawn out team fight.
I swear they just can never get the lanes out, Owen. Every time I've looked, completely shoved on the side of XG.
Another tier 3 falling.
It's just Creeps this time taking it out.
Ame trying to lead in. Can't touch Satanic quite now.
30 seconds.
Just burned down to the Radiance.
Still 30 seconds on the Aegis. They're getting so much done. Yeah, big items coming out, as we said. Full. Lotus Orb soon being picked up for Ducalis. I think a Shiva's soon finished up, so starting to get more and more answers for that PL. Once that Shiva's comes out for no one, it's a fantastic option just to be able to identify which PL is real at all times, too. XG, as you said, waiting and waiting toward that later stages, but how much is it going to benefit them with how far ahead Pvision continues to climb?
Now, Ame is close to having the Bloodthorn.
Okay.
But then fighting for the opportunity to be able to weave in and out of these team fights.
Also playing into BKB, Rage, another Rage if he doesn't get the kill during that initial Bloodthorn. Yeah, very difficult. And it's only really him doing the damage, it feels like now at this point, with that single target. There's a lot of targets he's got to go through. We've been talking about Satanic, but also no one is very high on that net worth, as we see after getting that shard too. He is a problem. Oh, and they're kind of trapped in their base. Look at this. It feels like it's been a long time that they haven't been able to come outside.
All they can do is just sort of set up and make sure that when Ame steps out to get farm, he's not going to be jumped.
Yeah, true. They have not been able to find any combos with the Vendetta plus that Solar Guardian in 30 minutes with the way that that start happened.
And we'll see what Ame looks towards next. He's going to try and get the shard, so he just continue to get these little sort of incremental steps forward in his item build.
He's going to have
just
to...
anything he can get together before that big team fight is forced against him.
He's going to have to be so tricky in the fights because he's super fragile, it still feels like, with this itemization. It's a very aggressive build he's gone for.
And I like this build as well from Satanic.
Yeah,
going for the late game Maelstrom into the Mjolnir just to throw something else into the mix, which it's just going to give these illusions from PL not a chance to survive in a team fight. They're going to get cleared out so quickly.
I can just throw it on himself, run in, and yeah, it'll all die. Sure, it's been nerfed versus Illusions, as we do know, in this last 7.39D, but it is still pretty effective when you are ahead in terms of net worth like this. Yeah, gets rid of the armlet. That is a pretty nice anti-PL inventory.
Yeah, he's massive. Pvision probably just going to sit back, look for the next Roshan.
Does feel like it. They have complete control of the map. They're farming everything.
They know that there's pretty much no threat of Extreme coming out to find them, even though Extreme is trying to go for this smoke.
Maybe just claiming their shrine, just trying to get something out of the map. And crazy amounts of farm. 9 class is getting infested up, so it looks like perhaps Pvision is going to look for a move if they do suspect them starting to get outside at all.
Pvision on the way over. 9 class.
Jinkyu.
They look for the setup, but Jinkyu is equipped with the Spike Carapace. Will be able to get away with the Vendetta as he scurries up to the high ground.
The second XG gets outside, though, immediately forced back into their base within a split second. No one.
Right, Jinkyu's got his eyes on him. He's going to try for the setup. Straight away the stun into the Requiem, but it's not enough. No one's able to put the BKB. Run away. In fact, he's ready to run back at them. As XM and Jinkyu have to back off to the side. They've caught Arme. He's caught in the roundup. Will be able to get out away from the Deafening Blast in time, but Satanic's going to try and chase on forward. They'll sneak away with the Invis. So getting out, but only just, just continue to show how terrifying these team fights are for Arme to try and get in on.
Not carrying a gem on any of the heroes, just carrying a bunch of dusts. Maybe 9 class will bring it out soon, but the 2 cores don't have it there. Okay, it's coming on the courier now for no one. That's a lot used there from XG. That's their Requiem, that's their Solar Guardian. Pvision used nothing.
They're ready to push it. DM ready to make that jump, of course, with the Black Hole at the ready.
Jinkyu.
He's going to get caught out here, burnt down low. He'll survive, but only just here thanks to the Shadow Word of X-Nova.
Side to that full combo. Satanic. Do they want to keep pushing here?
Let's have a look, because potential Roche will be pretty soon.
They'll get the tower. Spending all their gold, backing up. Roche, about 30 seconds. We saw the Requiem combo with the Nyx Assassin. They go on the Invoker, but something about... I actually haven't mentioned this much this tournament, but something about Invoker, of course, since he's one of those super high int heroes, his magic resist is also high. I think he got piped at the end of it, too, and it didn't even do half of his HP.
It was, but close to half his HP.
Yeah,
they didn't quite get the perfect position, of course, getting as close as they could to him, but even if they did, I don't think it was killing him.
No, I don't think so. Also difficult to ever get that catch there. As we said, he didn't have the gem this time, but I imagine he's going to start carrying it pretty soon on that Invoker again. As Roche, it is up. Pvision in the pit.
And XG, they've pretty much just got to take this time to try and get Arme out on the map so he can work towards his next item.
His growth is just not really there. Courier gets grabbed as well. XXS.
That's a rough one. He would have had
the refresher.
He would have had the money for the full refresher on the Dawn, but now that's going to be taken out of the game for nearly 3 minutes.
Roche.
They are approaching. XG, can they time this?
Cataclysm to scout.
It's going to scout everything. As they know what's up, Arme's trying to step up, but they cannot get into the pit. Satanic's going to be able to finish up. Jinkyu steps up. Won't be able to stop them from getting the pickups and the kill, though. Pvision get everything again.
Uncontested. They just can't walk in. XG's too scared to look for that fight. And now it's a refresher shard as well that they can get either to the Enigma or the Invoker if they want. Or even maybe to the Lifestealer if he just wants to have BKB Rage. Could just look to close up the racks in particular with
I think so. Yeah, because no one's going to have another slot complete. He goes to the Eon Disc, so even now, if they do get this sort of setup to try and blow him up with the Requiem, it's just not going to happen. 9 class in the mid, look for the setup. They'll catch Jinkyu. Arme is going to try and step back in, but he's got to be careful. DM coming out with the BKB. The Black Hole will be put to stop with the Solar Guardian. They'll kill DM off. But can they now get out of the fight? XG is XM. It's going to be split from the rest of the team. He's out. Dead for 80. We'll see 9 class fall, so XG at least able to get a second kill. But can Jinkyu get out of this? The meatballs come down. Jinkyu's gone.
These fights are impossible. Even there where they kind of land most of the spells in decent unison, Pvision just too far ahead. They'll kill, the support, but,
but they just can't touch
Satanic.
They absolutely cannot.
Arme goes in and immediately has to retreat every single time because he just gets burnt down so quickly. Basher now picked up. But in terms of his actual standing toe-to-toe with any of these heroes on Pvision, it's just not the case. As the racks, there's no glyph.
Arme tries to step up here with a Tornado. Into the Meteor on the Deafening Blast. He's in pretty much at like 10% HP. He's got to run. He has to get back. Sunstrike's going to be thrown in, doesn't connect, but the space is there for Pvision to push on, take out the bottom set of barracks. and definitely continue to move over towards the mid. Still 3 minutes on this Aegis. XG, if they got anything left in the tank to be able to sort of stop this.
That's Megas.
Arme's going to look for no one. Straight away, going for the backlash, but the Eon Disc is there. Solar Guardian will connect. Arme trying to get back in over towards the Invoker, but no one's able to step away. Arme has to keep his distance once more from Satanic.
He just has to dance and run away. Can't actually stick on targets. Megas are claimed. All of Pvision's back up. Still in Aegis for 3 minutes as well on Satanic, and another item finished up. The overwhelming blink coming out on that courier very soon.
Yeah, Pvision, they've certainly made this game one look pretty easy, folks, so far.
I mean, it's all from these lanes in particular, right? Top lane went, I think, as good as you could have ever asked for, maybe even better, keeping the Dawnbreaker completely behind. Bottom lane, Enigma was unpunished, untouched, and mid lane, no one stood his own. He stood tall versus that Shadow Fiend. Every move is hit, and Satanic, as you said, a flawless game, breaking records.
And coming in with that last pick, it really caught them by surprise, or at least presented something that XG just did not have an answer for.
No, not
seemingly in this game so far.
It seems like there wasn't many answers for a lot of things. As Pvision,
Satanic's in! Xnova at least does have the luxury of buyback.
Whittling down the towers.
XXS through Courier now respawning, so he does have the refresher at least.
Still 100 seconds on this Aegis.
Pvision onto the tier 4s. I mean, the jump, they do get the opening stun on the Satanic, but not the chain stun. He's able to get the rage off. They couldn't lock him down. He turns over towards Arme. Arme has to run. Will be able to match off the open wound slow, so he'll get back to the fountain.
The buildings, though.
Xnova coming in with a buyback. Does have the golem ready to drop. If they can find some sort of opportunity to try for a fight. Xingqiu's in, but immediate rage reaction there from Satanic. Arme tries to step forward, the silence catches him. Arme's gone. No buyback on him. The Ancient's exposed. Pvision ready to close up this game one. DM will close it up with a black hole. Cataclysm gets put to a stop, but they will not be stopped in closing up this game. The fortification buying them only a few more seconds in this game one XG, as they will lose against Pvision, coming in a dominating fashion at the start of this series.